Hi and welcome. My name is Lucian. I'm with Oranje 44 Studios, and we wanted to put together a video to give a basic introduction to the Unreal 5 engine and how you yourself can get into it, because it's really freely available and it's super amazing. We hope that you'll take this and get yourself into it. So let's jump in. All right, so first what you want to do is go ahead and get it installed. If you're a basic gamer, you probably know what the Epic Games Launcher is. But if you don't, go ahead and type that into Google and download it. And again, get yourself an account. You can just use your Gmail or whatever to sign up. And then from there, you'll have the Epic Games Store, which I'll show here really quick. In the Epic Games Store, you're going to have all your established games, and you can buy games. In your personal library, you're going to be able to look through all the games that you own and download them and play them. Below that, you'll have an Unreal Engine tab. Inside of that, you want to go into the library, and you will see a plus mark here. If you click that, it will allow you to install an engine version. Now, I'll go ahead and let you go through that process. Again, 100 billion different tutorial videos if you get hung up in that. All right, so let's just say you have the latest version of the engine installed. Currently for me, that's 5.03. We're going to go ahead and click on launch on that. And what that's going to do is bring up the kind of the template creator. Okay. When you first start into this, you're going to get multiple different options. You get a whole blank one: first person, third person, top down, vehicle, AR, and virtual reality. So I guess you can figure out which each one of these are. The most popular one that I've seen for tutorials and things is the third person. So that's just the one that I'm going to create. You can do starter content and ray tracing, and all of these different things will do different things. But for a basic start, all you have to do is click create. Now that the third person template project has loaded up, you can kind of see how Unreal 5 is working. Now, one of the first things that most people are going to want to do just to test things out is if you hit this little play button up in the upper part of the editor, it's going to make the game run in an in-editor running mode. So you can see we actually have a game here that we can move around in and interact with objects. Okay, so you can hit escape and that'll get you out of the play mode. And then inside the edit mode, you have a lot of different functions. A couple of the things I want to go over that are really important though. So under the edit tab, you have a couple different things that we want to look at. Editor preferences, and that's going to do all the different settings for the editor itself, for Unreal, what we're looking at as the developer. Okay, give you shortcuts and things like that. The other thing that you want to look at is the project settings. Now that's going to give you all the individual settings for the projects itself. So it's going to have everything from where the maps are, and where all and how movies get played, and everything that has to do with your individual project is going to be inside the project settings. And then you also have a plugins tab, and that's going to allow you to add different functionality to the Unreal Engine. Okay, once you've looked through all the preferences and things and you're ready to move on, let's go back into the normal editor here. A couple things I want to show you with that. Under the Windows tab, you can go to load layout and you can load the default layout. The reason that I'm pointing this out is throughout your editing and things, you'll see that Windows sometimes gets shuffled and things like that. So sometimes it's nice to be able to go back to your original one. The only modification that I make to the default is I like to dock my content drawer so that I can see everything in the content easily. But again, this layout is fully customizable, and then you can save it and then have it come back up the same way. And so I suggest playing around with those settings and kind of understanding that, and then you'll be able to always pull up the tabs that you need. Okay, so diving into editing a little bit here. Basically, this is the world editor, and I can like pick an object in it, and I can literally duplicate it and have it be in the world. Now, if I go back into the play mode, you'll see that object is now actually in the world, and it's interactive. Okay, so now out on the side of the world editor, you also see the outliner. And if you click on the third person map, which is going to be the very top object in this, it's the world type, and you go into world settings. Now, if this doesn't show up on the details tab here, you can right click and go to world settings and it'll bring it up. But basically what this is doing is this is defining the gameplay that's going on in this level. Okay, so if you in Unreal 5, if you see this little search icon, if you click on it, normally it's going to bring up down in the content window the file that's associated with whatever that is. Now, the ones that it remembers, it can change. So you can play around with this and come up with different modes and things like that. But if you're looking to get deeper into it, then you would basically track down the file that you're looking into. So this is the third person game mode. And inside the third person game mode, we're going to see that it's controlled by the player controller and the player state, and it has this HUD and it uses this character. So now if I wanted to see, okay, so the third person game mode is using the BP third person character. So we can also open that, and that's going to give me all the different characteristics of the character that we're playing. So we can change models and change the meshes and how the camera follows and things like that, all in this. So as you can see, it's kind of drilled down, and it works that way all the way throughout. So if I wanted to see, well, how this cube works, I could go to browse to asset, and I could actually pull open that cube, and then I can look through and see how that cube is put together and how it interacts with the world. And so that's how you drill down into stuff, and then you can find different things and different content out there. All right, now that your feet are a little bit wet with the editor, I just wanted to back up and show you the Epic Games content, because this is where you're really going to get some content and figure out how it works and then kind of apply it to your own projects. This is absolutely amazing, the way that they've put this together. But basically, they have a samples section which has a lot of learning around it. So these are really good for learning. And then they have a marketplace where you can buy different projects, you can buy different aspects of projects and things like that. And so I did want to go through kind of how you add those, because this is how most people are going to start learning with Unreal, is download a plugin or a project, play with it, and then kind of come up with something on their own. So in these marketplace, there's three different kinds of content that we've run into, and we just kind of want to point out how they work. There's the plugin, which installs to engine. So like our Voxel Pro plugin here. This one would just install in, and then it's in the engine. So every project that you make, you can go into the plugins tab that we pointed out earlier and turn this plugin on. Okay, the second type is a create project. What this is going to do is create the entire project, and you're going to have a separate project that has all the content in it from this particular sample or whatever. This is the matrix sample here. And then the last type that we've seen is the add to project. Now, when you click this, it's going to ask which project you want to add it to. When you add it to it, it's going to create a content folder inside that current project, and then you can go in there and look at all the different content from there. So that's how the three of them that we've seen work. All right, thank you very much for joining me through this little walkthrough. I hope it was informative. Thanks again for checking out our content. We hope that you will check the link below and get in contact with us and show us what you're doing with Unreal 5.